San Fernando Valley of Los Angeles, California. And now you're plugged in with your host, Donnie B. Donnie B.
Hello and welcome to our first installment and first edition of Plug In. I'm your host, Donnie B. Glad to have you aboard. Our first guest, let me introduce to you, Dorothy Powell. Hi, Dorothy.
Hi.
Welcome to the show.
Nice to meet you, Donnie.
It's my pleasure. The pleasure is mine. Now, Dorothy, you have a group.
I do.
Out of what city? What city are you?
We are based in Dallas, Texas.
Okay. And the name of the group
The name of the group is New Arts 6.
New Arts 6. Where did you get that name from?
Well, it's actually the opposite of what the group does. We're saying it's a new art, but actually what we are maintaining is an old art.
Okay.
Our group, we're made up of 6 African-American women, and the history of the formulation of the group is because all of the women studied music in college, and we did what's called the Negro spiritual.
Okay.
And you don't hear very much of that music today. Okay. We're losing our cultural history. And so our mission is to preserve the African American experience through the Negro spiritual. So since we didn't want to say old art 6, indicating age, we determined that we would be new art 6.
Okay.
We started because several of the women attended college together. We all attended predominantly black colleges or historically black colleges, and we sang the music, being in the chorus at Bethune-Cookman for myself and some of the
Florida,
other.
huh?
Yes,
Okay.
I'm from Florida.
Okay.
And after college, we didn't hear the music anymore, and we wanted to preserve it. So if there is anything that you need to do and you want it done right, you need to do it yourself.
Okay.
So we started our own group,
And it's called
New Art 6.
New Art 6.
Yeah.
It is a spiritual singing group,
It
right?
is a spiritual singing group. The music is based on a religious aspect.
Okay.
We're talking about music such as
Swing low,
Sweet Chariot,
Okay.
right?
I was just taking a shot in the
Yeah.
dark. I didn't really know that
And
was going to be.
moves all the way to music which you heard during the civil rights music
Okay.
movement.
Okay.
Such as Ain't Gonna Let Nobody Turn Me Round,
Okay.
and that kind of thing. We rearranged the music. There are 6 members.
Mm-hmm.
We all studied classical music, so it is not the same genre
Okay.
as what you're used to
accustomed to
hearing.
hearing. Okay.
Yes, we have a coloratura soprano,
Mm-hmm.
a lyric soprano, I am a mezzo soprano, and a contralto. We have a classical pianist and an actress. Okay, the members of New Art 6 are Glenda Cole Clay, our lyric coloratura, Gail Washington Tyler, who is a lyric soprano, Manya Davis Logan, our accompanist, our pianist, Cynthia Dorn Navarrete is the actress or dramatist, and Jeanette Cody, who is the contralto, and yours truly, Dorothy Powell, I'm the mezzo soprano.
Now, Miss Cody is not located in Dallas, is she?
Right, Jeanette lives in Birmingham, Alabama.
And she was not with you for your performance last night?
No, she was not.
Okay. Can you tell me where you were born?
I was born in Hampton, Virginia.
Were you raised there?
No, I was raised in Jacksonville, Florida.
And what is your favorite color?
My favorite color is green.
Okay. And what are your favorite activities, interests, or hobbies?
Oh, I love music, art, architecture, travel, food, and wine.
And who or what inspired you to get into music?
I would have to say my Glee Club teacher, Miss Witherspoon at James Weldon Johnson, when I was in junior high, taught me how to appreciate music, and I was inspired by Mrs. Olivia Smith when I was in senior high.
And what is your musical training background?
I am, as I said, a mezzo-soprano. I studied classical music at Bethune-Cookman College, sang in the choir there, and have done various things since graduating.
And how would you define New Art 6?
How would I define New Art 6? Well, New Art 6 is an ensemble of 6 African American women who came together to keep a legacy alive of the African American experience. And by that I mean a musical genre such as the Negro spiritual and the poetry of African American writers. We are keeping that music alive by performing it and teaching about it around the country to school children, to older people, so that they can understand from whence American music came.
Where were you born?
Dallas, Texas.
Oh yeah, you're home, huh? Okay. And what's your favorite color? Purple. And what are your favorite activities, interests, or hobbies, that kind of thing?
Watching sport events.
Really? Like basketball, football?
Football, basketball, baseball, hockey.
Really? You've seen a hockey game?
Not live, but I watch the Dallas Stars.
From the beginning to the end? I've never seen a whole hockey game. But my favorite joke is, I went to a fight and a hockey game broke out. Now, what inspired you to get into music?
When my parents bought me like a little keyboard, you know, they play keyboard, and they said they recognized the melodies I was strumming.
Really?
And so my cousin started teaching me private lessons in high school, and then she got married, and then I started taking piano from my church musician. Then when I got ready to choose a high school, I decided to go to performing arts high school because I had played piano. And when I got there, they said, "You're going to be a musician." And then they saw a lot of potential in me, and so they started nurturing me in those areas. And here I am.
Okay, so you got through high school. Did you go to college, huh?
Yeah, Oberlin College, Conservatory of Music, and SMU, Meadow School of Arts.
SMU. I saw your campus a couple of months ago. That's beautiful.
Okay.
How would you define New Art 6?
Unique.
Unique. All right. Then you leave it at that, huh?
All right. You know, one thing about it is you have 3 soloists. And, you know, as a soloist, they're supposed to sing solos, so therefore they never have to sing with anyone else. You take 3 soloists to make one sound, and to get them to blend is very unique, and they do it.
You know, it's interesting because I had read a lot of your bio stuff. I had listened to a lot of your music, but still, it was really different watching it live.
Right. You have to experience it.
It definitely is. Gail, I want to ask you, where were you born?
Wilmington, North Carolina.
North Carolina. And what's your favorite color?
Mauve.
Mauve, that's like pink like?
Yeah, pinkish, grayish, purplish. Yeah.
And what are your favorite activities, hobbies, interests, that kind of thing?
I like to write.
Like a novel, like that. And what or who inspired you to get into music?
My mother.
Your mother did? And what's your background, your classical training?
I got my bachelor's from North Carolina School of the Arts in Winston-Salem, and I got my master's from Southern Methodist University, both in vocal performance.
Now, how would you define New Art 6?
How would I define it? Oh my goodness, their definition for New Art 6. How do you mean that? Personally or just in general?
The way you want to, whatever you feel.
New Art 6 is my baby. I'm one of the founding members. It's just a part of my life. Yeah, you have that, yeah. Like waking up and getting that coffee in the morning.
Now, have you ever thought about doing a video when you do?
Yeah.
What do you see? What kind of concept do you have?
I can actually see doing some of the productions that we actually have going. I can actually see them being done in my hometown in Wilmington, North Carolina, say on Greenfield Lake with swings and the azaleas all around and the moss hanging off the trees and our costumes. I could do it. Or Savannah. That's just, I can see it there.
Yeah, I do too. Every time I think about you guys, especially when you did that number with Melinda sings, I think about a church way back into the woods, all this moss and stuff on this little road, back across the railroad track, I keep seeing it.
Wooden floors.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Okay, thank you. I hope I don't hold you up too long. Where were you born?
I was born in Texas. I'm a Texan, in Brownfield, Texas.
And where is that?
That's south in between San Antonio and Austin, Texas.
And what's your favorite color?
Purple
and blue. Okay. And
red.
With what?
Purple, blue, red. Black, white. Okay.
And what are your favorite activities, hobbies, interests, that kind of
I love to read movies. I'm absolutely obsessed with movies.
Is that because you're an actress?
I think so.
Okay.
Well, plus I use it as education because it's like a workshop I can't afford to pay the weekend for. So I just love doing movies and reading books.
Okay, so what inspired you to become an actress?
My brother.
Your brother? How that?
Well, it was kind of a forced deal. He needed an actress and I could do it.
Oh, what was he doing?
Well, see, actually it was his fault. I did summer stock and he got bitten by the bug. And then when he was a junior and senior in college, I was a freshman. He was a co-founder of a group called the Ebony Players at San Marcos at Southwest Texas State University. And he needed an actress. And so I did it. And he ended up doing very well, doing things for the president. And I got to be the president and Lady Bird and that sort of dinner routine.
So
I'm not for folks.
When you say summer stock, I don't know why New York jumps into my mind. Is that
Well,
what
no, summer stock is anywhere where there's theater. And it's primarily in the summer. So it's called summer stock.
I just want to say you do a wonderful job.
Thanks.
Okay, and did you have any classical training?
Yeah, well, I took voice. I'm a voice major minor, as a matter of fact. But because of allergies, I don't sing. I do bubblegum music and I sing if I'm forced. But I don't touch my voice. But as far as theater, no, on the job.
You really tell me.
God given. Yes, I promise you.
I mean, but you're with this group, and I saw you sing one song in there a little bit.
I sing only if I'm forced.
Really?
Yeah, I sing okay, but I just don't sing like they do.
Yeah.
I'm all right. I do, bubblegum to the radio. My kids like to think I'm okay. At least they used to. They're teenagers now.
Okay. What you do at New York State certainly has a level of missionary, evangelistic work to it.
I think I believe that, or I feel that, or it's kind of a gut thing, and it's something I won't let go. There's been lots of reasons to let it go, but I won't let go of it because it seems to be the only platform or arena where I can say it, feel it, and not be judgmental or make you feel bad about it when you hear it.
Yes, I understand that.
So I think it's more acceptable.
How would you define New York State?
I would define New York just as a miracle, so there's no reason why any of us should be together. We're not friends. We don't even really run in the same circle. And I do believe it is. New York is a God thing. I believe, I've always believed that. So I describe it as a mission. It is a mission. You're making me articulate it and actually say it, but it is a mission. Because what we do, yes, it is keeping our history alive, but it's based in faith. It's based in Jesus Christ. It's based in God. So it's based in very fundamentals that I think I believe in. Oh, well, Diva's very dramatic. It's like a one-woman show with music. I have all the roles. And the women play, in flashback, they play the different roles of the lady's life. And I'm kind of retelling my story, and they're living it.
Yeah.
So for me, that's the most dramatic piece we do, at least for me. Well, thanks for having us. Thank you. Read the Thanks a lot.
Where were you born?
I was born in Memphis, Tennessee.
And what's your favorite color? Blue. And your favorite activities, hobbies, and interests?
In my life, I just need to relax, and that's what I enjoy doing. When I have time and I feel like it, I like to sit. But other than that, I have a degree in music and performance. I have a degree in education. New York City is I want to
Beautiful women.
is to, as you just asked me, deliver a message through the songs of God, and to keep them alive.
Would you like to
to look stylish and fashionable? Then try Sheer Elegance Custom Hosiery. The latest designs with a selection so vast, you can accessorize your entire wardrobe no matter what color. And for a limited time, you can try Sheer Elegance at our introductory price. Just call 904-727-9215 and choose your size and color. Sheer Elegance Custom Hosiery, a most unique gift for the woman who has everything. 904-727-9215 for Sheer Elegance Custom Hosiery. Sure.
So we not only sing the music, we make it a presentation.
It's like almost like a demonstration, like a play.
It is a play.
Because I'm trying to
Yes,
picture it in
it
my
is.
mind if I think of it. I think the last thing that I saw with my brother was Phantom of the Opera.
Yes.
And I'm not really a big fan of going to see plays, but I really enjoyed that.
Well,
you know, I got into it. From that point on, you know, I started looking at plays and what have you. Is this the same kind of thing, same kind of concept?
Yes, it is not on as grand a scale, I might add, but it
Not
pulls
like
you
Plugged In.
right. You enjoyed it because it pulled you into it.
That's
it
exactly
wasn't
what it
just
did.
a lot of people standing on a stage singing.
But you know what? I went there not to like it because I said, you know what? I'm not really with sitting up watching people dance across the stage. But once I got there and I saw it, I started seeing a message and a story unfolding,
Right.
and exactly
And
what
that
you
is
said,
what
it
we
pulled
try
me
to
in.
bring to you. If we wanted to stand up and sing Swing Low, Sweet Chariot, I mean, that sounds pretty boring.
Right.
But when you understand the meaning behind the song, that song, Swing Low, Sweet Chariot, is expressing the sorrow and the agony of our people during the time of slavery.
Okay.
What they're exactly talking about is something to do with the Underground Railroad.
Okay.
You're going to swing down to the south and pick me up and take me to the north, which is the other side of the river, so that I may be free. When you
see.
look at the meaning behind the song,
Right.
that makes all the difference in the world. So we try to bring a storyline to the music. We do 3 different shows. The first show is called A Joyful Noise,
Okay.
and that is music and poetry by Paul Laurence Dunbar. Not his music, but the poetry, and then we add the music to go along with it. It's 6 women on a picnic, and they're relating stories from his art. And Paul Laurence Dunbar, his poetry is done in King's English, and it is also done in dialect.
Okay.
If you were reading some of the poetry, you would probably not be able to decipher it because he writes it just as it was spoken, with the broken English and that kind of thing. And some of the stories are absolutely hilarious. There's one, How Lucy Backslid, and it's about a woman who was a Christian and then she lost it, and she found a man, and and then she's trying to find her religion again. But she'd rather have a husband than a crown in heaven. So something like that. And then we do another show that's called the Whosoever Will Prayer Band. And this is a very hilarious show.
Whosoever
Will Prayer Band.
Prayer
Actually,
Band.
it's named for my grandmother's prayer band in Florida.
Okay.
And the women would dress to the nines. They would come to each other's homes and have tea and cookies and that kind of thing. And they were supposedly to be reading the Bible, but they would be talking about
was
Lucy over
going on.
there and
Yeah,
what was
yeah,
going on,
yeah.
who stole whose husband and
Yeah.
that kind of thing. And the music for that show is taken from the Gospel Pearls or the Old 100s. Those songs that you have heard your grandmother sing, Jesus is on the main line, tell him what you want, that kind of thing. And our third show is called Black Diva, and it is inspired by a book, And So I Sing, by Rosalind Story, who's a friend of ours, and she's a member of the Fort Worth Chamber Orchestra.
Okay.
And this book gives the history of African-American divas of opera and concert.
Okay.
And we're not just talking about today's divas, Kathleen Battle, Jessie Norman, we all know them, but we're talking about those women in the early 19th century who had to struggle to perform their art. They faced discrimination, they faced hard times. And our show gives the history of Cicerietta Jones.
Okay.
And each of us, Cynthia, who's the actress in our group, she is reflecting on her life. She has the gray hair, and she's just sitting in her home, and she's thinking about, her career. And each of the other women in the group, we play her at different times in her life. Linda is her as a young singer, and Gail is when she begins to tour, and I am her at the height of her career.
So it goes all the way through her life and
Yes.
through her career.
Yes,
Okay.
and we sing the music of the times, the operatic pieces, as well as the Negro spirituals of the day.
Okay.
And we talk about when she had to sing on the same stage with the minstrel shows that were going on at the time, and the hardships that brought to her, but she was not to be deterred. She was going to continue with her art. And because we know of her, she was successful. So the book chronicles quite a few different divas, but that is the one that we've selected.
Where are some of the places that you've performed?
I mean, we've done everything from the national anthem at the All-Star basketball games to tours of England and France. We did that a couple of years ago, and the reception was incredible. We travel around the United States, and usually our group will sing with an orchestra, such as the Dallas Symphony. We've done all of our suburban, the Plano Chamber, the Irving Philharmonic. We've done the North Carolina. We've done the Florida Symphony. We've done quite a few symphonies around the country. But mainly we travel to different schools. We will do what's called lecture demonstrations for elementary schools, junior high, and senior high. And then we'll go in and do master classes at the university level.
Very good.
So we talk to the children about their history, their culture, their music, and give them some insight as to where the current day music comes from.
I understand.
And that's our focus.
Okay. How long has the group been?
Very long.
Oh, boy.
We started in 1986, actually.
Did you?
Yes, so we have been around for quite some time.
And you've toured for that entire time?
Yes, we have.
Was it hard to get something like that started, you know what I mean? Or was it just the enthusiasm of the people within the group and yourself that just made it go on and on and on?
Okay, there are always difficulties in starting something new.
Yeah, always.
And something not in the mainstream.
You telling me.
If we were doing modern gospel music or whatever, we would probably pack the house out. But because we are talking about the time of slavery, which is something a lot of people really don't want to reflect on, they don't want to remember, it is a little difficult. But that is what we're here for. That is our mission, and we're going to pursue it. And, I mean, we can bring modern-day things to it.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Dorothy Powell.
Thank you.
Very glad to have you here. This is Plugged In, and we'll be back right after this.
Sheer Elegance Custom Hosiery, the epitome of sensuality. Designed in all sizes and colors to coordinate with anything in your imagination. You'll be amazed at the attention you'll receive in your new custom hosiery by Sheer Elegance. Just call 904-727-9215 and tell us your size, color, and design preference. Sheer Elegance Custom Hosiery, a most unique gift for the woman who has everything. Sheer Elegance Custom Hosiery.
My name is Ted Law, and I have the privilege of being the vice chairman of the board for the African American Museum. And we're so glad to have you out tonight. And we want to, first of all, thank Janice and Diane. Are they in the room now? They have opened their home to us, and I'll tell you who they are a little later on. Okay? I want you to know who they are. That's very important. Okay? Let me just say that, as you well know, the gala is the big event at the museum. And over the past years, particularly the last few years, we've had a very successful event. And in fact, it's the most successful event we have on an annual basis. And this year, we're privileged to have Ms. Clarice Tinsley of Fox Channel 4. I confused the 4 and the 11. To be the chairperson for the gala this year, and she's got some big plans for us, and we certainly appreciate the sponsors and all the involvement of the whole community in terms of the event. Let's give them a round of applause. Sure, I appreciate it. Say for you collectors in the house tonight, these items are for sale.
Everything that I will
They don't want to see it, but I'll see it, okay? Now, we don't have a spotlight, but the star of the show, Clarice. Right here.
Thank you for saying that, but the star is the museum. And as Ted said, so many people are working so hard to make the gala really an enormous success. And you know, every time you do something, you want to make it better than the year before. And so we have very big plans and very big goals for the African American Museum this year, the 85th annual gala. But we need your help. We need your involvement in order to make this work. Thank you very much for joining us tonight, and we are blessed and we are graced to have these wonderful artists, New Art 6. They are going to perform a program, a very short program, based on the theme of Sankofa, the fact that we must retrieve our past in order to move forward. So ladies, if this is the appropriate time, without further ado, thank you very much.
We bring back that was almost lost, forgotten. And for a people, you can't know where you're going unless you know where you've come from. And that's with any people, your ancestors from which they built on. So it's quite kind of neat that Sankofa is the theme for the African American Museum, but it's also our theme. So we're going to take you back a little bit. We're going to give you spirituals. We'll also give you the poetry of Paul Laurence Dunbar. So get your ears together because it's in dialect, so we're going to take you back a little bit. But hopefully we won't have you stand on your feet too long. Maybe you'll be jumping a little.
Do your girlfriends constantly ask you where you get your custom hosiery? Tell them if they want to look provocative while wearing perfectly fitting pantyhose that are custom made to match their wardrobe to call 904-727-9215. That's 904-727-9215 for Sheer Elegance Custom Hosiery. Sheer Elegance Custom Hosiery, a most unique gift for the woman who has everything.
A crust of bread, a corner to sleep in, a minute to smile, an hour to weep in, a pint of joy to a peck of trouble, and never a laugh like the moans come double. And that's life. But the crust and a corner that love makes precious, with the smiles to warm and the tears to refresh us. For joy seems sweeter when cares come after. And the moan, well, it's the finest of foils for laughter. And that is
Everyone always asks her clients, who does your hair? Well, it's Carolyn at My Place. Carolyn features flat iron straightening, weaving, press and curl, wraps, colors and dyes. Carolyn washes and styles your hair and specializes in relaxers. At My Place, you get styles by Carolyn. She knows how to take care of your hair and styles it just the way you like it. My Place, Carolyn's Beauty Salon in the North San Fernando Valley. By appointment only, call 818-896-6512.
You're traveling through another dimension, one of style, elegance, and sensuality. Don't let this happen to you. Call Sheer Elegance at 904-727-9215. Sheer Elegance Custom Hosiery, a most unique gift for the woman who has everything.
Paul Laurence Dunbar wrote his stuff, well over 130 some odd years ago, but it's really quite current. Now, he was a little bit more to the point, say, than some of us. We try to be nice. Now, you know, you've heard people think they can sing. And you try to be really patient. But Paul just says it nicely. Go away and stop all that noise. Miss Lucy, put that music book away. What's the use to keep on trying? See, if you practice till your grave, ain't no notes gonna start flying. Not like the ones that rants and rains from the kitchen to the big woods when Melinda sings. See, you ain't got the natural organs for to make the sound. You ain't got them turns and twists but to make it sweet and light. But I tell you one thing now, Miss Lucy, and I'm telling you for true. When it comes to right singing, tain't no easy thing to do. Well, see, it's easy enough for folks to holler when they're looking at them lines and them nuts. And there ain't no one can sense it, and the tune comes in spot. Oh, but for real, my lord, just that music that just strikes your heart and clangs. Just you stand and listen with me. Wow, Melinda sings.
The welcome tea. I'm gonna see the welcome table one of these days. Well, gonna see that the welcome table. I'm gonna see that the welcome table one of these days.
The cross. Look here, honey. Well, don't you know what you done lost? Oh, you should hear that gal Robin. Robins, locks, all them things. They just push their mouth and hide their face. But let me say, and Billy Man, he just stopped his fiddling, lay his fiddle on the shelf. Mockingbird quit trying to whistle because he just so ashamed of himself. And folks playing on the banjo drops their fingers off the string. Woo! Bless his soul, they just forget to move on when Melinda sings. See, she just spreads her mouth and hollers, "Come to Jesus!" Till you hear sinners, trembling steps and timid voices. Woo! And they drawing near. And then she turns to rock up ages, simply to the cross she clings. And you find your tears are trapping when Melinda sings.
I'm gonna sing in the heavenly choir.
As it rides and up and rounds, floating over these hills and valleys, way above this burying sun, as it makes its way in glory to the very gates of God. Oh, it's sweeter than the music of an educated band, and dearer than the battle song of triumph in the land. Oh, it seems holier than evening when the solemn church bell rang, as I calmly listen. Why, Melinda sings. Tosha, stop that barking. Hear me. Now, Mandy, make that child be still. Can't you hear the echoes calling from the valleys to the hills. Oh, I can hear it. Let me listen. Through the brush, angels swing soft and sweet. Swing low, sweet chariot, as Melinda sings.
Swing low.
Would you like to look stylish and fashionable? Then try Sheer Elegance Custom Hosiery. The latest designs with a selection so vast, you can accessorize your entire wardrobe no matter what color. And for a limited time, you can try Sheer Elegance at our introductory price. Just call 904-727-9215 and choose your size and color. Sheer Elegance Custom Hosiery, a most unique gift for the woman who has everything. 904-727-9215 for Sheer Elegance Custom Hosiery.
Before we say farewell, I want to thank you on behalf of the Ensemble of New Art 6 for having us here for this event. And Clarice, thank you so much for being our staunch supporter. We love her very, very much. And we want to thank Janice and Diane very much for having us here in your lovely home. And good luck with the event. We're going to be there.
One example of how art inspires and uplifts us, whether it's New Art 6 or the art of Johnny's Parker, or the art that you find in the African American Museum of Dallas. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. I'll look forward to seeing you on the 11th and at 5 and 10.
New Art 6 is going to perform a couple of songs, just to give you an idea of who they are, what they do. There's 6 women that started about 20 years ago singing gospel, and they're keeping the gospel alive. So, no further ado, we have 4 of them here. One is out of town, and our narrator, Cynthia, is shooting a movie in Austin, so she's not here tonight. So, I would like to introduce to you New Art 6.
There are 4 of us here. Monia Logan is on piano, Gail Tyler, Dorothy Powell, and myself, Glenda Clay. We're on New Art 6, and it is our mission to keep the spiritual alive, and we realize that from the spiritual evolved many other art forms, including jazz, and that is what we're focusing on tonight. But before we get started with that, and I'm so sorry for the delay, but we hope you delighted yourselves with food, and there is more. We just have to go back to the kitchen to get it. We're going to sing a few numbers for you, and
children.
This is Donnie B saying goodbye for now, and make sure you stay plugged in.
This has been Plugged In with your host, Donnie B. Thank you for tuning in. Join us next time for another exciting edition. Now, you're plugged in.